Hi, my name is Pablo Moran. Uh, I came to this country on July of 2010. I'm sorry, 1990, 1990, 20 something years ago. Yes. I was born in Mexico. My parents were in Mexico too. My dad brought us here in 1990. He got the amnesty from the 80s, late 80s, I guess, from Ronald Reagan at that time. So he was here first, and then we came uh, because he got us the documents to come in here. Uh, my parents, what they do for living? My parents used to work in the restaurant business sometimes. At the beginning, my mom used to work making some tamales, like to sell it to the friends and neighbors. And my dad used to do a little construction at times too. So that's what we do for a living at that time. And I went to school as soon as I got here. I went to middle school in San Francisco, Potrero Hill Middle School in Potrero. And then after that, I went to high school, which was Mission High School. Graduated from 1995 class there.
And then how about in Mexico? What economic status were you like? Do you consider yourself you were kind of poor in the middle,
In
or
Mexico,
you were
we
kind of
were
wealthy?
somewhere in the middle. We can say not really poor. We got clothes, we got food, we got a little bit of money because my dad was here, so he sent us money. So we weren't really that bad.
Okay.
But
So the only reason you guys immigrated into the U.S. was because of the amnesty.
the amnesty, yeah. My dad was here. He came in the early '80s, so he qualified for the amnesty. So he submit paperwork, and eventually, we got called, and that's why we came here.
And once you came into the U.S., did you feel like you fit in, or did you feel like you were kind of like outcasted? Or
Well, at the beginning, we feel, of course, like we're not used to the country. We feel excited because it's the U.S. Things are different. You can way different than Mexico, but at the same time, we miss it. We miss our Mexico. Like the way things go there, the food, the the family, the friends, and after a while, little by little, then we got you getting used to this country. We got some friends, we got some neighbors. We get used to living here. But it took us maybe the first year was kind of tough, and then after that a little bit less, and then.
what was so tough at first? Was it like the environment? Was it the people? Was it the language? Was it?
It's just the fact of not being in a place where you used to live for in my case, 13 years. I was 13 years old, so that was like the weather is different, the people are different, so we kind of miss a little bit of Mexico. And over here is like more of the routine. People are always working and things like that. People like more responsible, we can say. They got their things going on, and it's like a routine and that kind of thing. Kind of like, oh, it's different here.
So what was your before coming into the U.S.? Did you have like a dream? Like, did you want to become something?
Yes, before I came to the US, I saw pictures, on magazines or TVs, and I remember seeing people like really like in the beach, like riding these water motorcycles, and or even having a nice car. So my dream was like, at that time, just like, oh, maybe having a nice car and like have a motorcycle. Okay, so we're gonna talk a little bit about life here in the United States now. Uh, life here is it's good, but over we have I have learned that to appreciate more the family, the time, and especially because we all grow, we all have our own responsibilities, we have our own things to do. So now it's like when we see each other, like when I see my brothers, my sister, I appreciate the time that I see them, I know I look back at the when we came here. It's different when we were child. Now we are all adults and having our own lives. So it's like a close bond, and we really appreciate that. The time that we spend together. We really uh, try to enjoy it at the fullest, and give it 100% at that time, because we know we all running around, we all busy, and we all have a lot of things. Problems can be personal, financial, so we for somehow we try to stay together, and we like it that way, because that's what our parents really like us to be with, a good relationship with the family, and we like to you know to be together. And
How
not have
about
problems.
you're in the mission and you work in the mission and you kind of grew up in the mission.
Yeah.
Do you feel like as Latinos this is definitely like the community, or do you think it's changing now?
Well, it changes because I remember a while, like 20, not like 15 years ago, for example, used to be more Latinos in this neighborhood, but now it's a little bit less because we live in this country when there is in this city that makes all these changes, and like people are forced to leave sometimes because of the rent, for example. That's something that's going on right now. Recently, the rents are really high, so people can't afford to stay here, and they have to leave to another city where the cost of rent is lower. And but it changes, like it's like the weather, I guess. Every year brings new challenges, and it constantly changes. But we feel happy here, and we just have to adjust to whatever the changes that come in to life, And I mean, we know that we are here now, but maybe in the future we move. We don't know. So we're trying to enjoy here.
So as a business owner, what were your struggles? What are your successes at the moment, or challenges?
Okay, well,
like that?
as a business, we at the beginning we used to think small. We like, oh, having a business is not for me. Maybe I'm not gonna be able to do this. So it has to do a lot with believing in ourselves, in myself. So it's no big deal. We just have to do the right thing and figure out a way to overcome the challenges and believe in ourselves and work hard and have really passion for whatever that you do. And that's what we've been doing. We believe in ourselves, we work hard, and we like to keep pounding and adjust and figure out when things are not going the right way or the way we want to because of whatever the economy, whatever. Just try to figure out a way to come up and get the numbers to even up. Like not lose or just there's always ways to do things. If the weather is hot, then you sell something that is cold or something. Or that's an example. Or if controlling your cost and try to stay afloat. Always a way to do it. And we have learned to believe in ourselves and know that we are capable and just go out there, and some days is bad but some days are good. So at the end of the week, at the end of the month, it works out usually. So but there is challenges always, so we just trying to keep positive and keep thinking that we can do this and everything's gonna be fine, and usually that's what happens. Government.
Yeah, let's talk about government.
Okay.
Government in Mexico. How
Well,
do you feel about it?
let's talk about the government in Mexico. Uh, where the president was Miguel de la Madrid. That's in the 1990s. That was the president. Didn't know much about him because I was a little boy. And then after that, another guys came in, Cedillo or something like that, and Salinas de Gortari. When I was young, I didn't look at the politics much. But now that I'm older and I grow, I kind of understand a little better the Mexican government. And I think Mexican government is good, but it's like some good, some bad. They have a little bit of everything, and some people really want to do good for the country, but at the same time, like in Mexico, the laws are different, and people tend to just the government people sometimes tend to just think about themselves a lot, not a lot, but at points, and then they forget about the country, just to make it better. And overall, they trying to, but I think we can do much better in Mexico. Of course, it has to be all together. Not only the president, but the people, the family, starting in the family. Growing a child. Giving him some values, responsibilities, and making sure he goes to school and he become a good person and working and doing things right, honestly, and be a person that has some values in it. And I believe that's where it starts. And if in Mexico we start doing that, I think it's gonna be much better. Like promote the education from the beginning with the parents, and then hopefully we get some good leaders in the office, and things will work better.
Okay. And how about the government in the U.S. now, or what do you think about it?
Well, the government in the U.S. Now is, I mean, everything is right now because we've been hearing a lot about the immigrants. We got the new elections for president and all these things going on, and it's. I mean, of course, this is one of the greatest country in the world, so we want to make sure the borders and all that is controlled. The government trying to secure the people here, but at the same time maybe they're doing a little too much trying to do too much because closing the borders, making the wall. I think that might not be a good idea, but there's so many immigrants that are in this country and working, but I know what they think too. That we have to protect. Sometimes it's just a mix of good people and bad people. But I think okay. So I'm gonna answer a few questions about government. Uh, my favorite president, I will say, growing up, uh, it would be Ronald Reagan. I believe he at that time when he was president, he did some good things, give amnesty to people, and the country seems to be in good peaceful way, a good relationship around the world, and economy was good, and so it seems to be everything was smooth at that time with Ronald Reagan. I know Abraham Lincoln was good and Kennedy, but at that time I wasn't born, so just my new since I was remember Ronald Reagan was my favorite. Uh, my political party, I would have to say I'm a Republican. I like the way they do things, and if I have to choose, I will be a Republican. Yes.
So who would you be voting for this?
For this election, the running for president candidates, I will be doing. I believe what's his name? Cruz, the governor from Texas. I probably will vote for him. I believe he's like more mentally he's centered to run the country. Of course, Trump is very excited. He wants to do some good things, but I believe he can get us in some sort of trouble around the world. He's very outspoken. I'm sure he wants to do good things for the country, but in this thing, I believe we better have somebody that is more neutral, but at the same time taking care of the country, and at the same time don't let down this country. Make sure we are there at the top that we always been. So I'm going for Cruz. Yeah.
All right.